This is the cargo bike, and it is a financial controller's worst nightmare. It took millions of dollars in research and development to bring this to market, including an automotive crash test and a custom mold for this enormous cargo box. It has a built-in headlight with high and low beams. It has adjustable headrest, a tail light, a built-in GPS tracker, and 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes fit for a downhill bike. Anything they could think to engineer, they did, and to their credit, some pretty admirable things like pedestrian safety, but did they consider whether this was a profitable business idea? I'm not so sure. So we're gonna spend the day riding the cargo bike and testing all its features. And if you watch till the end, I'm gonna fill that cargo box with 600 pounds of granite and ride it down a huge hill to see if the brakes work. Wow, holy crap. But first, who is this even for? Well, it's a cargo bike for families trying to decide between a second car and a cargo bike. And so this bike is absolutely enormous. For reference, here's a Surly Big Dummy long-tail cargo bike. Look at how much longer the cargo bike is. You can see another key difference between the cargo bike and my beloved Big Dummy. The cargo box is up front. That's actually pretty common these days on cargo bikes, and it's up there for several reasons. First of all, vehicle on bicycle collisions are most common from the back, and so if your kids are riding with you, you want them up here in the front, but also without the drivetrain in the way, they can get the center of gravity way low. But as you can see, that means the front wheel is way out in front, and then the handlebars are over here. I mean, look at it. I'm back here holding onto the handlebars. The steer tube goes straight down and the wheel's up there steering. It feels kind of weird the first time you ride it, but you get used to it really quickly. Other cargo bikes accomplish this with belts and cables. Much like cars use steering linkage, when those belts and cables snap, there's usually a lawsuit that follows. But in the case of the cargo bike, there are actually 4 cables for redundancy. Also up here at the front, you can see there's a suspension fork, which is kind of nice for your kids and your cargo. They're gonna be riding in there. The front wheel is a pretty small diameter compared to most bicycles. That's because cargo bikes need to have a really low center of gravity. Figure a 120-pound mom with 2 kids, maybe their backpacks. She's gotta wrangle this thing, get it started, get it up on the kickstand, and so having everything as low as possible is really important. And if she wants to stop this bike, it's gonna be pretty easy with these brakes. This is a 203mm rotor. It's like half the diameter of the wheel, and it's got Magura hydraulic disc brakes. The one in the rear on the bigger wheel has 4 pistons. That's like what you would find on a downhill bike. And again, I'm gonna fill this with granite and go down a hill later to test that. Also up here at the front is a very nice built-in headlight. It has high and low beams, and so it'll come as no surprise that the cargo bike also has a tail light. Moving back, we get to this massive cargo box, and this is kind of where they spent all the money. This is made of EPP, that's expanded polypropylene foam, and one of its characteristics is that it's really good at absorbing impacts. They tested this with an automobile. Side impact and front impact must have cost a couple $100,000 or something like that. And then the mold for this box, I think was like $350,000. It's huge. And before I show you what's inside the box, notice that the outside of the box is completely rounded. There's nothing sharp on it. That is for pedestrian safety. How many people want to pay for that? My cargo bike doesn't even take rider safety into account. I've got to just hope that my 3-year-old doesn't jump off the back of it. And if you look at this box closely, it kind of resembles that foam they make disposable coolers out of, but this is nothing like that. It's very strong. In fact, there is a step here for kids to use to get in and out of the cargo box. The cargo box also features a very nice canopy. It has sides and everything, and I guess if you're actually using this as a car replacement, you need to drop off your kids at school in the rain, well, you're gonna get all wet, but your kids are gonna be nice and dry. But as I said, if they could engineer something, they did, and so they put fidlock buckles on the side so that the canopy can lift up for easier entry and exit. And now you can see the inside of the cargo compartment is absolutely massive. There's all this floor space over here, and the sides even go up nice and high to offer as much protection for your kids as possible. And you might be thinking, well, where do they sit? There are these covers here for the seats, which actually fold up, just like the seats in the back of a pickup truck. So with these covers removed, you can see there's a little latch that holds the seat cushion up. Then they come down to reveal 5-point harnesses. But not only that, headrests. Not a secret that headrests are actually a very important safety feature in a collision, and so these are adjustable to fit all different size kids. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I can actually put these at different heights for both of them, and they've told me they're quite comfortable. I would have to say the same. Now, I'm not a very large person, but I am a full-grown adult, 150 pounds, and I can sit in here no problem with my arms and everything inside. It's actually more comfortable than a coach airline seat, which is pretty sad. I've slept on those overnight, and so, I don't know, maybe I could overnight camp in this thing. Not only that, but if I remove the seats from here, I would have maybe another 4 inches of space inside of here. Now, I can actually feel the suspension fork at work. The ride is really, really comfortable. I actually have ridden on other cargo bikes, and this is the most comfortable one so far. All right, let's see if my cameraman can successfully get this onto the kickstand.
Oh, I need to use this.
You need to use the handle. For the win. Now with these fidlock buckles, it looks like they actually designed it so that kids can open it up and get out themselves. And as you can see, this thing's completely stable. I can just climb in and out of it, and there's not much of a risk of the bike flipping over. And when mom wants to put this back up on the kickstand, they put a dedicated handle here. So you grab onto the handle, put your foot on the kickstand, and pull it back. Now, depending whether you're dropping your kids off at school or going for a grocery run, you can actually configure this cargo compartment several different ways. First of all, they give you this thing, and it actually slides in over here and works as a tray. I could see kids sitting here, maybe with the bike parked, eating some lunch. You can also strap things to the top of the tray, and there's a ton of space underneath it to store stuff. Also available is a big liner with handles that fits in here and makes it a big bag, sort of. You can bring it into the grocery store, maybe even put it in your shopping cart, and then when you're done, pull the entire bag out and bring it into your house. Now, while this handle up here helps you pull the bike onto the kickstand, to get going, like most cargo bikes, you just set it in motion. You can either stand over the frame and push it forwards and then start pedaling, or as I do, I just sit on it and then start pedaling it away, and it kind of goes. Now, like most modern cargo bikes, the Cargo bike has an electric assist, but not as common a mid-drive electric assist. And so the power's not in the rear hub, it's up here at the cranks. But if you look at the rear hub, it looks huge. It looks like there's a motor back there. There's not. There's an internal gear hub with automatic shifting. This is made by Enviolo, and it's got a belt drive, and so you don't have to lube the chain. There's not anything sticking to it. It's really low maintenance. You just kind of get on it and pedal, and if it stops working, you buy an entirely new bike. I'm just kidding. This is actually all very serviceable, and the mid-drive is really nice because it senses how much force you're applying to the cranks, and it responds proportionally. A lot of e-bikes, you can just kind of pretend to pedal, and when it senses you pedal, it just kind of kicks on. This is really proportional, and so as much power as you're putting into it, it adds to. It's more than enough to offset the massive weight of this bike along with whatever you're carrying, but they actually make you do a little bit of work. And in my opinion, that's a little bit safer and it's a little bit more fun. Now, between the electric assist and the low center of gravity and the internal gear hub, this thing is pretty easy to manage for its weight, but it's probably gonna be the heaviest thing out on the greenway. This is 121 pounds without any people or cargo in it. That's 55 kilograms, and that raises a really important issue: e-bike regulation. These bikes are just getting bigger and heavier and more powerful and more capable, yet you can just kind of smuggle them onto the greenway and legally ride them next to bicyclists and pedestrians and skateboarders, yet they're so much heavier. It's like when a semi is riding next to one of those smart cars. Now this thing is super bougie. It's $10,000. They could have made it go 40 miles an hour if they wanted to, but they put a mid-drive on it and they limited it to 20 miles an hour. And as I mentioned earlier, they took pedestrian safety into account. Now they spent a lot of money trying to make this thing as safe as possible. And while some of these safety features are for your kids, other safety features are to make it safer on the greenway and safer for those around you. Who really wants to pay for that stuff when it's for other people's safety? And so it looks to me like all that expensive R&D could have been a bet on the future of e-bike regulation. They not only tried to design this to be safe in the street alongside automobiles, but also alongside other bicycles. That's kind of an interesting thing for a new brand to spend money on. I mean, they could have spent less money to put a throttle on it and big spikes off the front. And that raises another question, who even is Kago? What new brand would have the resources for a project like this? It's Ergon. Ergon's behind this. That would explain all the Ergon products on the bike, and it would explain why it is so German. Now, given the size and weight of the Kago bike, they kind of expect you're gonna buy it in a store and then ride it home. And if anything goes wrong with it, you either have to fix it yourself or somehow get it rideable, because the kinds of urban families that are gonna be buying $10,000 cargo bikes don't always have utility trailers and pickup trucks. Speaking of which, I can get this into a pickup truck myself with some difficulty, and it still hangs out the back. This thing is very, very difficult to transport if you're not pedaling it. So I've just removed both seats, and it's amazing how much space is actually in here now. Before, I was sitting against the folded seats, and now I've got all this space here, and actually, I'm kind of comfortable. If I just put a pillow on my back, I think I could sleep here. Like I said, I've slept on overnight flights. If I can do that, I could definitely overnight camp in my cargo bike, get on it, and ride home. I don't know if I want to actually do that, but if you would like to see me do that, let me know. So given how spacious this cargo box is, I did some calculations. I figure we could fit about 600 to 700 pounds, that's 270 kilograms of granite in it, in the form of pea gravel. This is so sketch. Wow. I think it can fit a little bit more. Oh my God, it's so heavy. All right, so my driveway is really, really steep and it's long. It goes down and then it turns and then it's like 35% grade. And I'm gonna ride it down. Now, I think the brakes are gonna be okay. Because it's all in front of me, I can always pull the ripcord and jump off the back of the bike. And I have enough experience to do that with confidence. And so I would never try this if you've never ridden a bike before, if you've never bailed from a bike before. Thankfully, I have many times. And so I'm gonna ride this down to the bottom of the driveway, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do. I better bring a shovel with me. When I push this forwards, it might just tip over and I have no chance of going. Whatever happens, happens. Let's see if we have a prayer of holding this up when we push it forward. Oh, this is sketch, but I think we got it. Wow, it feels so heavy. Like the tire is actually up to some pretty high pressure. If these brakes just smoke and give out, we're actually gonna have to bail. Oh my God, there's so much driveway in front of me. This was dumb. This was dumb. These brakes are gonna be smoked by the time we get to the bottom. And if I let go of the brakes, we're gonna go like 50. The brakes are starting to not stop as well. Okay, we're in trouble, guys. We're in trouble. We are completely, oh my God. Wow, holy crap. Oh my God. The brakes are not happy. We just, I think, smoked the pads. Holy crap, how are we gonna get this thing up on its stand? Wow, that is some German engineering. Do I have any water left? Look, they're like freaking purple. Oh! That was now officially the sketchiest thing I've ever done. Yeah, if you have to descend about 150 feet on a 35% grade and you have 600 pounds of pea gravel, you can do it at least once on this. All right, I am thoroughly impressed with this bike. I can't believe I was able to kind of manage that, although just barely. These are only available in Europe right now. Eventually they'll make their way to the United States, and to be honest, I think it's too early for that. This is for when everybody's riding bikes, for when it just doesn't even make sense to ride a car anymore. This is a bike from the future, and we hear about products that were way ahead of their time that didn't work out because the future people weren't there to buy it. I sure hope I'm wrong about this one because it's a really cool bike with a lot of really cool features. I hope you enjoyed testing the cargo bike with me today. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you learned something. And if you didn't, I hope you at least found this entertaining. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time. What is my life right now?